Welcome to World Rare Coin, the home of America's most extraordinary treasures, where history, artistry, and mystery come together in every piece of metal. In the hidden corners of our nation, there exist 6 remarkable coins, small yet powerful, carrying stories of precision, survival, and intrigue. Each one struck in moments of meticulous craftsmanship, passing silently through pockets, drawers, and collections, growing rarer and more coveted with every passing year. These pieces bear the weight of decades, the subtle marks of time, and the whispers of collectors who recognize their significance. On World Rare Coin, we take you deep into their journeys, exploring the artistry, the secrets, and the incredible variations that transform ordinary coins into legendary treasures. From the fine details etched into metal to the rare differences that make each one unique, we reveal how numismatic experts study, preserve, and authenticate these treasures, uncovering hidden stories and forgotten histories that elevate them to extraordinary status. So prepare yourself for a journey where fascination, history, and rarity converge, and experience the thrill of discovering America's most coveted coins like never before.
Right, my friend. Now close your eyes and imagine the soft glimmer of an old coin resting in the palm of your hand, a piece of history that whispers through time. The 1960 Washington Quarter, a small circle of silver-colored mystery, a token born in an era when the United States was changing faster than anyone could imagine. This coin hides within its ridges the stories of the mint workers who struck it, the machines that shaped it, and the collectors who would one day seek it with feverish hearts. In those days after the silver was stripped from the coins, the world thought the magic had gone. But they were wrong. For the 1966 quarter carried secrets no one expected. Strange minting marks, subtle flaws, and a beauty that grew stronger with age. Some say that even the light hits this coin differently, like it remembers the hands that once held it. Some say that when the right collector finds it, destiny moves, and history repeats itself. So let's journey into the world of numismatic wonder and uncover the truth about this quarter that has become a legend among legends. As we travel back to 1966, the United States Mint was under immense pressure, people hoarding silver coins, the government desperate to keep currency flowing. And in that chaos, the Washington Quarter of 1966 was born, minted not in silver but in a copper-nickel blend. Yet within this transition, something strange happened. A few of these quarters were struck using older silver planchets, a rare mistake that would one day make them worth more than their weight in gold. Imagine being the one to find it. Maybe in an old collection passed down by your grandfather. Maybe in a dusty jar filled with coins from the 60s. Maybe even in a roll of quarters from your local bank. The thrill of discovery igniting your pulse as you realize you're holding one of the rarest errors in American coinage. This coin weighs around 567 grams, its diameter near 24.3 millimeters, its thickness close to 1.75 millimeters, every tiny detail carved with precision. The face of George Washington noble and proud, the word liberty shining above, the year 1906 beneath, and behind him the bald eagle spreading its wings wide. But for collectors, the true secret lies not in what's seen, but what's hidden. The texture of the metal, the sound when it clinks against another coin, the way the color shimmers under a bright light. Numismatists study these things with a kind of sacred devotion, because every detail might be the clue that reveals whether it's the common copper-nickel issue or the ultra-rare transitional silver strike. And here's where the world of grading steps in. The great halls of numismatic judgment known as PCGs and NGC, where experts with magnifiers and cold, steady hands decide the fate of every coin that passes before them. If your 1966 quarter is flawless, its fields clear, its luster bright, and its strike sharp, it could receive a high mint state grade, Mrs. 65 or higher, and that is when the coin truly becomes legendary. Collectors pay fortunes for perfection. They seek those mirror-like surfaces and razor-edge details that few coins from that chaotic minting year ever achieved. Imagine sending your coin to PCGs, waiting those long weeks as it's handled by gloved professionals, scanned, photographed, measured, then sealed inside that iconic transparent holder, labeled with its grade and authenticity. When it returns, Your heart pounds as you see the numbers, Mrs. 67, or maybe even MS 68. A grade so rare that only a handful might exist in the entire world. And now your once ordinary coin becomes a piece of numismatic royalty, a treasure worthy of the greatest collections. But condition is not the only mystery. The thickness, the color, the ring of the metal when dropped gently on a hard surface, all whisper clues. Some 1966 quarters have been found with double-die errors, where the design was struck twice, creating a ghostly shadow behind the letters and numbers. Others show broad strikes, clipped planchets, or missing reeds on the edge. Each error tells a story, each imperfection making it even more unique, like a fingerprint of history. The kind of details that only true collectors recognize and treasure. And when it comes to selling such a coin, patience becomes your greatest ally, for you cannot simply sell it anywhere. No, a coin like this must find its stage. You can reach out to heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, great collections, or even listed on platforms like eBay, but only with professional grading in hand. These are the temples of the numismatic world where collectors gather like pilgrims, searching for that one coin to complete their collection. And when your 1966 quarter appears there, glowing under the bright auction lights, the bids will rise like waves in a storm. Because everyone in that room knows how rare it is, how few have survived in pristine condition, and yet, the true beauty of this coin lies not only in its value, but in its story. The Washington quarter was more than money. It was a symbol of resilience during a time of transition. When the United States faced social and economic change, it carried the image of a man who led the nation through revolution and birth. And even though silver was gone, the spirit of strength and independence remained stamped into every curve and ridge. Some collectors believe that every coin carries an energy, a kind of echo from the year it was made. The 1966 quarter carries the hum of a restless America, a country between eras, between wars, between ideals. It witnessed the rise of color television, the height of the space race, the voices of protest and unity, all while quietly circulating through the hands of millions who never knew what they held. And perhaps that is why, when one of these coins appears in perfect condition, untouched by time, it feels like opening a time capsule. So if you ever find a 1966 Washington quarter that looks different, heavier, brighter, shinier, maybe with a silver tone that doesn't quite match the rest, don't ignore it, don't spend it, because you may be holding one of the lost silver transitional strikes. A numismatic marvel born of mistake and luck. Send it for grading. Let PCGs or NGC reveal its true identity, and who knows, you might be the next name whispered among collectors, the one who rediscovered a piece of American minting legend. The journey of the 1966 quarter reminds us that treasure often hides in plain sight, that even the smallest objects can hold incredible stories, and that history lives not only in museums, but in the pockets and drawers of ordinary people. So if you're still watching, my friend, take a moment to look through your change. Feel the weight of the coins. Look at the edges, study the shine, because one day that simple habit might uncover something extraordinary. And remember, when you hold a rare coin in your hand, you're not just holding metal. You're holding time itself, a piece of the past that has traveled across generations to reach you. And that is what makes the world of coin collecting so magical. It connects us. It teaches us patience. It rewards curiosity, and above all, it reminds us that value is more than money. It's history, passion, and discovery intertwined. So let this story of the 1966 Washington quarter awaken your curiosity, inspire your search, and guide your eyes toward the hidden glimmer in the everyday. Because somewhere out there, in a jar, a drawer, or a forgotten box, another piece of history waits to be found, maybe even by you. And when you do, come back here, to World Rare Coin. Share your story, join the community of seekers, and together we'll continue exploring the mysteries of the coins that shaped America. Now, my friend, if this tale of the 1966 quarter has sparked your imagination and stirred your heart, make sure to press that like button. Leave a comment, sharing your own coin discovery, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the next story might be even more mysterious, even more valuable, and you don't want to miss it. Stay curious, keep searching, and remember, every coin has a secret waiting to be revealed. The 1967 Washington Quarter, a coin that hums with the energy of transformation. A coin born from a moment when America stood between change and tradition. The previous year had seen chaos in the mint silver fading into memory, new alloys taking its place. But even within this storm of transition, something remarkable took shape. This coin, though humble in appearance, holds within it the whisper of an era that refused to be forgotten. The mint workers spoke of strange gleams on certain planchets, as if old silver spirits still lingered on the machines that once struck precious metal. They say the presses sang differently that year, the rhythms slower, the strikes deeper and hidden among the countless quarters that rolled from the dies. A few emerged unlike the rest, perfect in form, brilliant in shine, flawless in their balance. The 1967 quarter carried no mint mark. That was the decree of the Treasury to prevent collectors from hoarding specific issues, yet even without the mark of origin, each piece seemed to bear a unique signature. Tiny variances invisible to the untrained eye, but known to the masters of numismatics collectors, who dedicate their lives to studying every ridge, every surface, every trace of history engraved in metal. The weight of the coin remained around 5.67 grams the diameter, a precise 24.3 millimeters, and the thickness close to 1.75 millimeters. Yet some carried faint whispers of anomalies, slightly heavier, slightly brighter, perhaps remnants of the forgotten silver era. Those coins became legends, whispered about in numismatic circles, as if they were the last breath of silver in a world moving to modern alloys. Time flowed forward. Collectors began to notice certain 1967 quarters that gleamed differently under light, their luster sharper, their field smoother, their strike crisper. These coins did not age like ordinary copper nickel. Their brilliance refused to fade, and the more they were examined, the more questions arose. Could it be that some of these coins were struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964? The theory spread like wildfire, and soon treasure hunters across the nation were digging through old rolls searching for that one elusive specimen. The transitional strike that defied official records and promised a story worth millions. Imagine the thrill, my friend. Opening a forgotten roll from your grandfather's drawer. The smell of time filling the air, and there among the dull coins one gleams brighter. A light silvery tone, its sound when dropped on wood, ringing with a clear bell-like note. Unlike the dull clink of modern quarters, your heart races as you weigh it. It feels different, just slightly heavier. Your fingers tremble because deep down, you know you've found something extraordinary, the kind of discovery that can rewrite a family's story forever. The kind that makes collectors and historians alike hold their breath. But finding it is only the beginning to truly reveal its power. You must bring it before the keepers of authenticity, the sacred halls of PCGs and NGC. There, they will examine its every detail under high magnification. They will measure its metal composition, test its reflectivity, judge its surface preservation, and finally assign it a grade mint state 65, mint state 66, maybe higher, and when that grade appears sealed in transparent plastic, like a treasure preserved for eternity, its story becomes official, its value undeniable. The 1967 quarter that defied time itself. The higher the grade, the rarer the magic, and Miss 67 from 1967 is like lightning in a bottle. Collectors pay immense sums to possess such perfection. And the difference between MS65 and M67 can be the difference between a dream and a destiny. This is why condition matters. Every scratch, every nick, every trace of circulation lowers the grade. Each coin becomes a mirror of care and history, telling you how far it traveled before it reached your hands. Some collectors whisper of 1967 quarters, struck with double die obverses, where Washington's profile appears ghosted, like a shadow from another dimension. The inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," showing faint echoes of repetition. These errors are rare and valuable, but even rarer still are the coins struck with proof-like surfaces, unintentional brilliance that reflects the light. Like a mirror, these are the coins that leave even seasoned numismatists speechless for. They were not meant to exist, yet they do. Proof-like circulation strikes forged by accident, by fate, by the heartbeat of the mint. And here is something that few know. My friend, in 1967, the United States Mint released special mint sets instead of proof sets, and among them some quarters were struck with unusually high pressure, creating deeply mirrored fields and frosted devices. Collectors call these SMS coins special mint, strike their finish halfway between proof and circulation. And within that special set, the 1967 quarter stands out, a symbol of craftsmanship at the edge of chaos. These are the coins that make the pulse quicken for collectors who know how to see their beauty. But how do you sell such a treasure? You do not rush it. You prepare it. You document it. You verify it. Then you present it to the world. You can bring it to heritage auctions or Stack's Bowers or great collections, where true numismatists gather to bid on history itself. Or you can list it on specialized platforms, but never without authentication. For the story of your coin must be backed by truth and grading and provenance. These are the pillars that make collectors trust, and when that trust is earned, bids rise, hands lift hearts, race, and the auction floor becomes a storm of desire even. So this coin's worth extends beyond money. It tells the story of a nation learning to adapt, of an industry shifting from silver to base metal of beauty, preserved through adversity. It speaks of resilience, of how something can lose its precious composition, yet still shine with timeless grace. The 1967 Washington quarter represents that transition, the bridge between the old and the new, the echo of silver and the dawn of modern currency. It is more than a coin. It is a reflection of history's heartbeat captured in copper and nickel. Still, there is another layer of magic within its design. The portrait of George Washington, first sculpted by John Flanagan. Decades earlier, still commanding respect, still standing as a symbol of leadership, the eagle on the reverse wings spread, wide like freedom itself, and when you hold it close, you feel the intention of those who designed it, their goal, to preserve pride and unity through art and metal. This is why collectors revere it, not only for rarity, but for meaning. For every strike is a prayer in metal for the endurance of a nation. Now take a moment and think, how many 1967 quarters have passed through your hands? How many have jingled in pockets, fallen in car seats, rolled across tables, each one carrying the same potential, and yet only a handful hide that mysterious luster, that rare combination of perfection and error. So when you search through your change, do not glance too quickly. Take your time, turn the coin under light. Listen to its sound. Weigh it if you can. Because among millions, only a few carry the spirit of fortune. And if you ever find one, do not hesitate. Guard it like a secret. Send it for grading. Keep its story alive. And when you finally decide to sell it, let it go only when you understand its true power, not just its price. For collectors, value truth and authenticity above all else. That is what separates treasure from trinket, legacy from metal, and legend from currency. So, my friend, as you hold your coins tonight under the soft glow of your lamp, remember that within your hands may lie a story untold, a story that bridges decades, that connects generations, that transforms ordinary metal into extraordinary meaning. And if you feel that spark, that curiosity, do not ignore it, follow it, because that curiosity is the same fire that has driven explorers, adventurers, and collectors since the dawn of civilization. If you are still watching, take a deep breath, feel that excitement stirring inside you, hit that like button to honor the treasure hunters before us, and comment below. If you have ever discovered something rare in the most unexpected place, share your story because every voice adds to the legend. Every collector adds to the map of discovery. And together we keep the spirit of numismatics alive. And as this chapter closes, remember this. The 1967 Washington quarter is not just a coin. It is a whisper from a forgotten year, a relic of transformation, a symbol that even in times of change, beauty can endure and shine brighter than ever before. So keep searching, my friend. Keep believing in the magic of the small things. And when destiny places another rare coin in your hand, bring it here to World Rare Coin. Because together, we will uncover the hidden stories that sleep within America's currency and awaken the legends that time tried to forget. The story continues as the light fades from the tale of the 1967 quarter. A new whisper rises from the shadows of American coinage, a sound faint yet powerful, the faint ring of the 1983 D Washington quarter, a coin forged not in the golden glow of the silver era but in the heart of modern America, a coin that hides within its metal, a mystery so deep that even experts tremble when they speak of it. The air of that year was heavy with change, the mint buzzing with pressure, the machines striking. Day and night the people unaware that within those countless strikes, a handful of coins would defy the odds of perfection. The 1983 D quarter may seem ordinary to the untrained eye, but beneath its surface lies one of the most astonishing numismatic secrets ever uncovered. The story begins in Denver, the mint marked with the letter D, the presses roaring in endless rhythm, their purpose clear to create quarters for a nation whose commerce moved faster than ever before. But amid that thunder of creation came errors subtle, rare, and fateful. Some planchets struck with too much force, others with faint weakness. Some struck slightly off-center, giving Washington a ghostly shadowed face, and some struck with dies that had been polished too aggressively, erasing tiny details like whispers erased by time. And yet among all these anomalies, a few coins emerged with a brilliance unlike any others, perfectly struck, deeply lustrous, as if touched by fortune itself. These are the coins that now live in the legends of collectors. The 1983 D Washington quarters that turned into treasure. The ones that changed the idea of what modern coins could be worth. Imagine holding one between your fingers, feeling its weight. 67 grams its diameter, 24.3 millimeters. Its thickness, 1.75 millimeters. Yet somehow it feels different, heavier in history, lighter in time, brighter in destiny, because within it lies a story of scarcity, a tale of survival. In 1982 and 1983, the Mint did not issue mint sets for collectors, which meant that pristine, uncirculated coins from these years were scarce. To find only those saved directly from bankrolls or fresh mint bags could survive untouched by circulation. That is why the 1983 D quarter in true mint state is a marvel, a coin that escaped time's wear and tear and remained perfect against all odds. But there is more to this story. Much more. Some of these 1983 D quarters display a remarkable error known as the double die. Reverse where the word quarter dollar appears slightly doubled, a subtle shift that to the keen eye reveals a minting miracle. These doubled dies are not only rare but breathtaking. Each one a frozen echo of the moment the die slipped and stamped. History twice collectors hunt them relentlessly, paying fortunes to possess even a single example. And when one appears in high mint state, the excitement spreads like wildfire across the numismatic world. And then there is the most mysterious of them all, the 1983 D quarter struck on a copper planchet, meant for a cent, a mistake that defies logic, yet has been proven by testing and grading. Such a coin weighs around 3.1 grams instead of 5.67. Its color a faint reddish hue. Its sound softer. Its legend unmatched. These error coins sit in the pantheon of American numismatics. Treasures born of accident beauty, born of imperfection. Their discovery reminding collectors that magic can emerge from machinery, that even in the precision of modern minting fate still finds a way. And if you ever hold such a coin, your heart will race, you'll feel its warmth, you'll sense its story, and you'll know you are touching something extraordinary. But how do you prove it? How do you bring its legend into light once again? We turn to the guardians of authenticity, PCGs and NGC, where professionals in white gloves and magnifiers evaluate the truth hidden in every surface. They will measure its weight test, its metal, analyze its strike, and determine if you have truly found the legend of 1983 when the result comes back, sealed in a transparent holder labeled MS67 or MS68. Your coin transforms from mystery to masterpiece, from rumor to reality, and its place in numismatic history becomes undeniable. But there's another secret layer to this coin. My friend, 1983 was a year of economic tension. The American Mint was adjusting to material changes, and the quality of strike varied wildly. Coins from that year often show weak strikes and worn dies, making sharp, detailed examples extremely rare. So when a collector finds one where every letter gleams, every feather on the eagle stands crisp, every field reflects like glass, it becomes a marvel. Such perfection defies statistics. Such beauty survives only by miracle. Some collectors whisper that the energy of these coins feels alive, that the 1983 D quarter hums faintly under light as if aware of its own rarity, perhaps its imagination, or perhaps it's the spirit of craftsmanship from a bygone era still lingering in each strike. Either way, the effect is real. You can feel it when you hold one. You can see it in the shimmer across its face, that shimmer that tells you this coin was never meant to be ordinary. The process of discovery is what keeps collectors awake at night. The thrill of searching through thousands of coins looking for that one glimmer, that one error, that one perfect strike, the sound of coins spilling across the table, the click of magnifiers, the gasp when something different catches your eye. This is what numismatics is built on: passion, patience, and the pursuit of history, hidden in plain sight. And when the time comes to sell such a treasure, you must choose your path wisely. The open world of heritage auctions, where bids soar higher with every heartbeat, or the quiet prestige of Stack's Bowers, where whispers of ancient collections fill the air, or perhaps the digital reach of great collections, where collectors from every corner of the world compete for beauty and rarity. But remember, a coin like this demands respect. It must be authenticated, graded, and documented before it takes its place on the stage of legends. Because only truth gives value. Only proof gives power. The 1983 D Washington Quarter tells us something about the spirit of America: resilience through transition, strength through precision, pride through creation. It represents a modern generation of minting where technology meets art, and yet within that machine-made perfection, fate still dances, chaos still creates beauty. It reminds us that even in progress, there is mystery. Even in order, there is wonder. Imagine now, my friend, that you sit at your table under soft golden light, your collection spread before you. Silver, copper, nickel. Each coin a story, each gleam a memory. And there among them, the 1983 D quarter, its surface glowing like a secret, waiting to be spoken. You turn it in your hand, feeling the faint ridges on the edge, the smooth curve of the rim, the perfect lines of Washington's face, and you think of the countless hands it could have passed, through the journeys it might have taken. And somehow it found its way to you, not by chance but by calling. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear the echoes of the mint, the roar of presses, the spark of metal against metal, the heartbeat of creation. Each sound a note in the song of history, and your coin a single, shining verse in that eternal melody. So what should you do now? Take your magnifier, look at your quarters, especially those from 1983. Flip them, study the D mark at the base of Washington's neck. Observe the lettering, check the weight and thickness. If you find something that feels off, brighter, heavier, or lighter, do not dismiss it. You might have uncovered one of the rarest errors of the decade, one of the hidden legends that make collectors' hearts race. And if you do come back here to World Rare Coin, share your discovery, because this community thrives on stories like yours, on passion shared through knowledge and wonder. If you are still watching, my friend, your curiosity burns as bright as the rarest luster, and I invite you to press that like button as a symbol of your journey into this hidden world, and leave a comment telling me what coin you're searching for, because your story might inspire the next great discovery, the next chapter in this living history of treasure and time. And as the story draws toward its close, remember this. The 1983 D. Washington quarter is not just a coin, it's a survivor of forgotten years, a beacon of craftsmanship, a reminder that miracles hide within the ordinary. Its value is not only measured in dollars, but in the awe it inspires the history. It carries the hope it gives to every collector searching for magic in metal. It stands as proof that legends never truly fade. They just wait quietly until someone looks closely enough to see. So keep your eyes open, keep your heart tuned to curiosity, and keep your spirit alive in the hunt, because the world still holds secrets waiting to be found. And among them, this coin stands proud as a guardian of the forgotten, a bridge between past and present, a treasure forged by accident and preserved by destiny. And when you finish this journey and place your coins carefully back in their holders, remember you are part of a lineage, older than you can imagine, collectors, historians, dreamers, and seekers, all bound by the same passion to uncover truth through metal and meaning. And that, my friend, is the real value of numismatics. Not just wealth, but connection, discovery, purpose, and wonder. So stay curious, keep searching, and never stop believing in the power of small things, for one day your hands may hold the next great legend of American coinage. And when that moment comes, bring your story to World Rare Coin, where we keep the flame of discovery alive, where we celebrate the mysteries that shine in the smallest treasures, and where every coin tells a story waiting to be heard. In the heart of American history, there are moments that seem small at first glance. A simple coin, a common quarter, minted in 1966, yet carrying a story that would echo through generations. Imagine holding that coin in your hand, the faint reflection of light across George Washington's profile, the texture of metal that once passed through countless hands, vending machines, pockets, and coffee counters across America. A silent traveler witnessing decades of change, war, progress, and dreams. The 1966 Washington quarter wasn't born from luxury or celebration. It came from a period of transformation, a time when silver was disappearing from our circulating coins, and the United States Mint faced a new challenge: the transition from silver to clad coinage, a shift that forever changed the feel, the sound, and the value of every quarter in circulation. Now imagine this. The year is 1966. The U.S. Mint had just gone through the biggest change in modern coin history. The Coinage Act of 1965 had ordered the removal of silver from quarters and dimes, replacing it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. No mint marks were used that year, a decision made to discourage collectors from hoarding coins. So every 1966 quarter was struck in Philadelphia, but carried no mint mark, making them all appear the same. Yet within that uniformity, a few extraordinary pieces slipped through. Hidden among billions of regular coins, a small number of 1966 Washington quarters were struck with remarkable precision, unusual die characteristics, or minting anomalies that set them apart. Some show doubled features on Washington's profile or lettering. Some exhibit off-center strikes or rare planchet errors, and a few have been discovered with mirrored proof-like surfaces. Even though no official proof quarters were made in 1966, imagine being the person who finds one of these rare treasures in their change jar. The rush of discovery, the realization that something so ordinary could hold immense hidden worth. As collectors, we know that value isn't just about rarity, it's about story. And the 1966 quarters story is one of transition, confusion, and resilience. It represents a bridge between the old silver era and the new clad age. Numismatists call this period a turning point, because before 1965, coins carried intrinsic metal value. They were literally worth something beyond their face value. After 1965, the meaning of value shifted, and so did the collector's mindset. Suddenly, condition became king. This is where grading steps in. Professional coin grading services like PCGS and NGC emerged to bring order and authenticity to the hobby. They evaluate coins on a 70-point scale, considering every scratch, mark, and shine. For a 1966 Washington quarter, a high-grade MS-67 or MS-68 example could mean the difference between pocket change and a life-changing find. Collectors know the thrill of sending a coin to be graded, waiting for the verdict, and seeing that gleaming label that reads Mint State. It's a moment of pride, a validation that your discovery was not just luck, but part of history. The details of this coin tell even more. The 1966 Washington quarter weighs around 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. It's made of outer layers of copper-nickel bonded to an inner copper core, giving it that distinct sound when dropped. Not the rich ring of silver, but a sharper, lighter tone. Numismatists often use that sound test when first handling a coin. It's one of the simplest yet most revealing clues. For collectors chasing the perfect 1966 quarter, condition matters more than anything. A coin with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks can bring extraordinary value. The key is in the surfaces. The cheek of Washington should be clean and smooth, the hairlines detailed, and the reverse should show crisp feathers on the eagle. Any coin with a strong strike and original mint luster can be a candidate for high-grade certification. Now let's dive deeper into why this specific year carries such mystique. Because 1966 wasn't supposed to have anything rare, yet it does. The mint struck over 821 million quarters that year. But due to experimental striking pressure and die changes, subtle varieties exist that only trained eyes can spot. For example, some quarters show a thicker rim or a slightly misaligned die. Others may have small doubling on the lettering of "In God We Trust," and a few with proof-like surfaces appear almost mirror-polished, as if they were test strikes. These are the mysteries that fuel the hunt. Every collector dreams of that moment, searching through rolls of quarters, flipping through change from the grocery store, or examining a jar of old coins inherited from a grandparent, when suddenly one coin stands out. Maybe it shines differently, maybe it feels heavier, or perhaps there's just something unexplainable about it. That's how most legendary finds begin. Not with a plan, but with curiosity. The same curiosity that drives channels like World Rare Coin to share these stories, to remind everyone that history can live right in your hands. But what makes the 1966 Washington quarter especially fascinating is that it's a relic of the coin shortage era. During the mid-60s, the U.S. experienced a massive shortage of coins. People were hoarding silver coins, and businesses struggled with small change. The mint had to increase production dramatically, and in the process, they adjusted techniques, leading to small but valuable differences in strike quality. The 1966 quarter represents both the problem and the solution, a coin made to fill the nation's pockets, but also one that quietly carried a secret or two from the minting floor. So how do you know if your 1966 quarter could be one of those extraordinary pieces? First, look for strong luster under good light. Tilt the coin slightly. Observe how the light dances on its surface. Authentic mint brilliance is smooth, almost glassy, while circulated coins will appear dull. Next, check Washington's hairline details. The more defined they are, the higher the strike quality. Also examine the edges. The reading should be even and consistent. Any partial or faded reading could suggest a mint error. Lastly, weigh your coin if possible. If it's heavier or lighter than 5.67 grams, it may have been struck on the wrong plancher, which could make it worth thousands. Every true collector knows that patience is part of the process. Not every coin will be a jackpot, but each one tells a piece of the story. When you finally come across a 1966 quarter with unusual features, send it for professional grading. PCGS and NGC are the most trusted names. They not only certify authenticity, but also protect your coin in a tamper-proof holder, ensuring that its value and history are preserved. And when that label comes back, reading MS67, MS68, or even better, that's when everything changes. Because those top-graded examples are what collectors dream of. And yes, some have been auctioned for astonishing figures. Crossing into the million-dollar territory, it's not magic, it's dedication, research, and the timeless thrill of discovery. But here's where the story becomes even more intriguing. How do you sell such a coin once you've found it? You can't just walk into a store and hand it over. No, you need to approach the right platforms. Professional auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections are trusted names where serious numismatists gather. Online communities also offer exposure. But authentication is key. Selling through a PCGS or NGC certified coin gives buyers confidence and ensures you receive fair market value. For those who prefer private sales, numismatic conventions and coin shows across the United States are excellent opportunities. From Las Vegas to Baltimore, collectors, dealers, and historians gather under one roof, sharing knowledge, trading treasures, and discovering hidden gems. That's where stories like the 1966 Washington Quarter truly come alive. You'll meet people who've spent their entire lives chasing the rarest coins. People who can spot an error coin from across the table, and sometimes you'll hear stories of ordinary folks who stumbled upon life-changing finds in pocket change. And this is what makes coin collecting magical. It connects generations, brings together history, art, and curiosity in a way that few hobbies can. Each time you pick up a 1966 quarter, remember it's not just metal. It's a link to a transformative era in American history, a piece of the nation's journey from silver to clad, from value in metal to value in meaning. So as you sit there now, maybe checking your change, or thinking about that old coin jar on the shelf, take a closer look. The next 1966 quarter you find might just be the one that rewrites your story. Because sometimes history hides in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. And if you're that person, this is your moment. Your story, your discovery. Welcome to the world of numismatics, where every coin has a soul, every scratch has a memory, and every collector becomes a storyteller. As we continue this journey through the life of the 1966 Washington Quarter, let's imagine the moment it left the mint. Hot from the press, fresh metal gleaming under bright lights, thousands of quarters tumbling together, the sound echoing like metallic rain across the minting floor. Workers moving fast, machines humming, every strike imprinting George Washington's image, each one born equal. But destiny had different plans for a few, because among those billions of coins, a handful were not ordinary. They had a certain spark, a twist of fate, a tiny imperfection that would make them legends decades later. As time moved forward, people spent those coins without a thought, at gas stations, diners, parking meters, soda machines, and for years, they passed through countless hands, unnoticed and unappreciated. Yet every scratch and mark they picked up was part of their story. And that's what numismatics teaches us. Value is not just in rarity, it's in the journey. The 1966 quarter lived through one of America's most interesting monetary shifts. When silver was disappearing, and the country was learning the new sound and feel of its money, older generations remember the disappointment when they realized the new quarters no longer had that soft ring of silver. Collectors started holding on to the last of the silver coins. But the new clad ones, like the 1966, became the face of modern circulation. And then came the mystery over the years. Collectors began noticing certain 1966 quarters that looked different, some with deeper strikes, sharper details, or unusual finishes, as if they were polished. Others had doubling on the words Liberty or on Washington's profile. Some were struck off-center, showing partial blanks around the edge, a sign that the coin hadn't been perfectly aligned during striking. And a few, incredibly rare, had been struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964, a phenomenon that created coins of immense collector fascination, because technically, silver quarters weren't supposed to exist after 1964. Yet a few sneaked through, creating treasures beyond imagination. Now imagine you, a coin collector holding a magnifying glass, carefully examining each detail, your heart beating faster as you spot something unusual. Maybe the rim seems thicker, the letters slightly off, or the shine different from others. That's where the thrill begins. The thrill that makes numismatics not just a hobby, but an adventure. You take that coin, study it under light. You weigh it. Maybe it's slightly heavier. You feel a rush of excitement. Could it be one of those elusive silver planchet errors? Or maybe a high-grade mint state survivor, untouched for decades, frozen in time? That's when grading becomes your best ally. PCGs and NGC are the guardians of truth in the coin world. Their grading scale doesn't just assign numbers. It defines the difference between common and extraordinary, between a few dollars and millions. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher from 1966 are almost impossible to find, because the mass production that year made perfect strikes very rare. Most coins came with bag marks or weak details. Only a few escaped in near-perfect condition, preserved perhaps in sealed mint sets or collector hoards. And when one of these surfaces today, the entire coin community pays attention. Grading considers factors like luster, strike, eye appeal, and surface preservation. A 1966 quarter with strong luster that radiates like a halo under light, with clean surfaces and sharp edges, could easily attract attention at auctions. And collectors know that every point higher on the grading scale multiplies value exponentially. The difference between MS66 and MS68 isn't just numbers, it's a leap into numismatic history. It's the line between common and legendary. The physical nature of the coin tells us more. The 1966 quarter, 5.67 grams of copper-nickel-clad metal, layered with 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer shell, fused around a pure copper core, giving it a subtle two-tone edge when viewed closely. This sandwich-like structure, known as clad composition, replaced the 90% silver content of earlier coins, changing both weight and sound. The diameter of 24.3 millimeters, the thickness of about 1.75 millimeters, these measurements may sound technical, but to a collector they are clues, ways to confirm authenticity. Many serious numismatists measure and weigh every coin, because slight variations can reveal rare errors. A coin struck on a thin planchet might weigh less. One on a leftover silver blank will weigh more, about 6.25 grams. That small difference, less than 1 gram, could be worth thousands of dollars. And that's the kind of knowledge that separates casual collectors from experts. And when it comes to finding or selling such a coin, the right approach matters. Suppose you believe you found a special 1966 quarter. Your first step is preservation. Handle it carefully, always by the edges. Avoid touching the surfaces. Place it in a protective holder to prevent further marks. Never clean it. Cleaning can destroy the original mint luster, reducing its grade and value instantly. Next, you'll want to have it authenticated. Submit it to PCGs or NGC. They'll verify its originality and condition. And once it's certified, your coin enters a different world entirely. It becomes part of recorded numismatic history. Selling such a treasure isn't about rushing, it's about strategy. Serious collectors and investors watch the major auction platforms like heritage auctions, Stack's, Bowers, and Great Collections, where rare quarters often appear. And once listed with proper certification, bids can soar. Online marketplaces like eBay can also be used. But caution is key. Buyers there want verification. So certified coins sell far better and faster. Coin shows across the country are also incredible places to connect with potential buyers, especially in states like Texas, Florida, and California, where numismatic communities are thriving. At these shows, you can network with experienced collectors who recognize value instantly. They'll discuss strike details, die states, and even the faintest traces of doubling as if they were reading lines of poetry. That's the magic of this community. It's full of passion, respect, and discovery. And every conversation might reveal a new fact about your coin, a new theory about its origin, or even a new friend who shares your excitement. Many collectors also keep detailed records of their coins, logging weight, thickness, diameter, and condition. These records not only help track value over time, but they also turn a collection into a living archive of American history. Because each coin, especially one like the 1966 quarter, represents a snapshot of its era, an artifact from the transition between the Silver Age and the modern-clad era, a symbol of how America evolved economically and industrially. And while some people chase coins for profit, the true heart of numismatics lies in curiosity, in the joy of learning, in the connection between past and present. When you hold a 1966 quarter, you hold the story of innovation, of a mint adapting to a new era, of millions of people unknowingly participating in a moment of change. And maybe, just maybe, you hold one of the rarest survivors, a coin that defied the odds and preserved its beauty for half a century. Viewers watching this now might be thinking, could I have one of these quarters? Maybe it's in my drawer, maybe in my dad's old collection, or even in a jar of coins saved from the 70s. Yes, you could. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to be a professional collector to find history. You just have to be curious. That's why I always say, check your change. Open those forgotten jars, because one day, a coin might catch your eye. And that tiny moment of curiosity could lead to an incredible discovery. And if you ever do find a 1966 quarter that looks different, don't hesitate to share it. Take clear photos, post it on numismatic forums, join online groups, or tag World Rare Coin. Our community loves helping collectors identify potential rarities. We share, we learn, and we grow together, because every discovery brings excitement, and every story adds to the legacy of American coinage. The legend of the 1966 Washington quarter reminds us that beauty hides in plain sight. History can sit quietly in your pocket, waiting for recognition. Every scratch, every shine, every imperfection tells a story. So next time you hold a quarter, pause for a moment, tilt it under the light, and look closer, because sometimes the rarest treasures are the ones we touch every day without knowing. So keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your passion burning. And remember, if you love learning about rare coins, minting mysteries, and numismatic treasures, make sure to like this video, share it with other collectors, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the next story might just uncover another hidden gem. Another coin that changes everything you thought you knew about American money. And who knows, maybe that story will begin with the coin that's already sitting in your hand right now, waiting for you to notice, waiting for you to discover, waiting for you to believe that even the smallest things can hold the greatest value. In the golden glow of the early 70s, America was changing again. The sounds of jukeboxes, muscle cars, and bustling diners filled the streets, coins clinking in pockets, quarters flipping on counters, and among those countless coins, one quietly emerged from the Denver Mint, a 1973 D Washington quarter, its metallic surface shimmering under fluorescent light, hot from the press, born into a time of bold design and restless innovation. It carried a silent promise of history yet to be written. While most would live ordinary lives in circulation, a few would become something extraordinary. A few would hold mysteries that numismatists would still whisper about half a century later. The Denver Mint, marked with its tiny letter D, stood proud in the heart of Colorado, minting millions upon millions of coins every day. Yet even in this industrial precision, imperfections and wonders were born. Some strikes stronger than others, some planchets slightly off balance, and sometimes rare minting errors slipped through unnoticed. The 1973 D quarter was one such coin, a symbol of the mint's power and the beauty of accidental perfection, each one weighing about 567 grams, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a thickness of around 1.75 millimeters, built from copper-nickel-clad metal. Its very makeup reflected America's new era of practicality, an age where art met technology for most people. The 1973 D quarter was just another tool of trade, a coin that bought a soda, paid a parking meter, or jingled in the pockets of kids trading comic books. Yet for collectors, it would later become a symbol of hidden rarity. Because in a year that seemed so normal, something unusual happened. A small number of these quarters emerged with exceptional strikes, sharper details and proof-like luster, and even more intriguing. A few were struck on planchets meant for other denominations, creating off-metal errors that would eventually be worth fortunes. These are the coins that turned everyday change into treasure picture. This, the Denver Mint in full motion, thousands of dies striking metal discs every minute, the rhythm of history being created, and then, one planchet slightly misfed, one die slightly out of alignment, a moment so small no one would notice, yet that moment birthed a rarity. Perhaps a quarter struck slightly off-center, its design leaning to one side. Or maybe a coin with doubling in the inscriptions, the letters of liberty or in God we trust slightly shadowed. That doubling, subtle to the naked eye, could one day be worth thousands. Numismatics is built on these moments of imperfection, where flaw becomes fascination, and mistake becomes masterpiece. The story of the 1973 D quarter is more than metal. It's about time, patience, and preservation. It's about the collectors who, years later, would dig through old jars, coin rolls, and estate boxes, searching for something different, for something that shimmered with a story. And when one of them found a pristine 1973 D quarter, untouched, full of original mint luster, their heart raced. Because high-grade examples of this coin are incredibly rare, the majority show heavy bag marks, worn rims, or dull surfaces from circulation. But a few, just a precious few, survived perfectly preserved, their brilliance locked away for decades, waiting for someone to recognize their worth. The Washington Quarter design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, remained unchanged for decades, but each year carried its own signature, its own fingerprint, the depth of strike, the strength of detail, the reflectivity of the surface. For 1973 D, the eagle on the reverse was often struck slightly weak, so a coin showing full feather detail is already unusual. Numismatists call this a strong strike, and it's one of the first signs of a high-quality piece. When a collector sees sharp feathers, clear lettering, and smooth fields, it's a clue that the coin may grade above MS66 or even MS67. And grading, once again, becomes the magic key, the difference between ordinary and legendary. Professional graders at PCGs and NGC study every millimeter under magnification, assigning a grade that can define value for generations. A 1973 D quarter graded MS68 or above is almost unheard of, and those few that have been discovered command breathtaking prices. The numismatic community celebrates them as survivors of perfection. Because it's not just about rarity in numbers, it's about rarity in condition. The year 1973 also marked a time when the mint was experimenting with striking consistency. Changes in pressure, temperature, and planchet preparation resulted in subtle variations in finish. Some coins emerged with mirrored surfaces that appeared almost proof-like. Though they were never part of proof sets, these proof-like circulation strikes are incredibly sought after, especially those certified by PCGs or NGC as PL or DPL designations. To the untrained eye, they may look ordinary, but to a collector, they sparkle differently. The light dances across the surface in a way that feels almost alive. The allure of the 1973 D quarter also lies in its connection to American nostalgia. The 70s were a time of transformation. From space exploration to the rise of modern pop culture, every coin from that decade holds echoes of that energy. And when you find one preserved in mint state, it's like holding a time capsule, a fragment of that era frozen in your hand. And then there are the error coins, the legends that keep collectors awake at night. A few 1973 D quarters were struck on wrong planchets, including some on dime blanks or even on foreign coin stock. These off-metal errors are exceptionally rare. Imagine discovering a quarter that weighs less, has an off-color, or slightly smaller diameter. It might not fit in a coin holder perfectly, yet it could be one of the most valuable quarters ever found. Error coins teach us that perfection is overrated, because it's the accidents that become the masterpieces. So how does someone find or verify one of these treasures? First, careful observation. A magnifying lens is your best friend. Check for clean edges, sharp reading, and even weight. If your 1973D quarter feels lighter or heavier than 5.67 grams, or if it looks off in tone, it's worth testing. Then examine Washington's face. His cheek and jawline should show minimal marks, the hairlines detailed and crisp. The reverse should show an eagle with well-defined feathers. Especially near the chest and wings, a weak strike may be common, but a strong one is a sign of excellence. And if you believe your coin could be special, send it to be graded. PCGs and NGC are trusted worldwide for authentication and preservation. Once slabbed and certified, your coin is protected forever. It carries an identity, a certification number, a record that can be traced and verified by collectors and auction houses alike. And that's where the magic happens, because once certified, a coin's potential value skyrockets. It's no longer just a coin. It's a documented piece of American heritage. But let's not forget the physical beauty of the 1973D quarter, that coppery edge, that balanced tone between silver and nickel, the texture of the reeded rim. Numismatists often speak of a coin's eye appeal, that hard-to-define charm that makes one coin stand out from another. A perfectly centered strike, full luster, and minimal spotting can make a huge difference. And even though millions were minted, only a handful remain that perfect, untouched, full of life. Imagine attending a major coin show in Chicago or Denver. Tables lined with glass cases, thousands of coins glittering under light. And there it is, a 1973D quarter in a pristine holder, graded M as a 68 by PCGs. The dealer explaining its story, how few exist, the crowd leaning closer, the whispers spreading. It's moments like this that remind us that collecting isn't just about value, it's about connection. It's about holding a piece of American legacy for those looking to sell or trade. Timing and presentation matter. Coins like this perform best when listed at major auctions, such as Heritage, Stack's, Bowers, or Great Collections. These platforms reach dedicated collectors who understand rarity. You can also connect with certified dealers, members of the American Numismatic Association, who can appraise and guide you through the selling process. Avoid casual buyers who undervalue certified pieces, because true collectors understand that grading, rarity, and history define worth. And if you're not ready to sell, keep your coin secure. Store it in a temperature-controlled environment, away from humidity and sunlight, in an archival quality holder. Remember that preservation is a form of respect. Each coin is a story frozen in metal, and how you care for it determines how that story will be told in the future as the years go by. The 1973D quarter continues to gain recognition in the numismatic world. Collectors talk about its precision, its hidden errors, and the few perfect survivors that remind us that beauty can come from the ordinary. It's a coin that teaches patience, because finding a flawless one is a challenge, but that's what makes it so rewarding. And as we near the end of this journey, remember that this isn't just about money or metal, it's about discovery. The thrill of uncovering something that connects you to the past, the joy of learning, the excitement of possibility. When you find a 1973D quarter that stands out, when you feel that spark of curiosity, follow it, research it, protect it, because you never know where it might lead. So to everyone watching, whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting your journey, keep exploring, keep searching through your change, because one day, you might be the one to uncover the next great numismatic treasure. And when you do, share it, tell your story, and join our community here on World Rare Coin, where curiosity turns into discovery, and where every coin tells a new chapter of America's story. So take a moment right now, like this video if you love learning about rare coins, comment if you've ever found something special in your change, and make sure to subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the next story we share could reveal another hidden masterpiece, another mystery from America's minting history. maybe even a coin that's waiting quietly in your pocket, ready to surprise you, ready to remind you that in the world of numismatics, every small discovery can turn into something truly extraordinary. Under the warm glow of time, hidden within drawers, old boxes, and forgotten coin jars, rests a coin that carries a story beyond its silver shine. A story that whispers through decades, touching collectors' hearts across America. The 1973 D. Washington Quarter, a coin that seems so ordinary at first glance, yet once you know its secrets, it becomes something extraordinary, something that reminds us how history, art, and precision collide in a single moment of minting. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most respected facilities in American numismatic history, where millions of coins pass through blazing furnaces and precise machines. But every now and then, one piece emerges slightly different, slightly unique, carrying the subtle traits that make collectors lean closer, breathe slower, and wonder if they've found something special. The 1973 D quarter sits in that rare group of coins that stir curiosity, a coin whose story keeps the hearts of numismatists awake at night. The letter D under George Washington's portrait stands as a symbol of craftsmanship from the Denver Mint, and behind that letter lies a journey of metal, minting, and mistakes that can turn a simple coin into a treasure worth millions. When this quarter was first struck, America was in a moment of transformation. New music, new cars, and a generation that was embracing change. Yet through all of that, coins like this kept flowing quietly into pockets. Vending machines and lunch counters, most went unnoticed. But a few carried subtle minting errors or signs of rarity that today make them some of the most talked about pieces in coin collecting. Numismatists often say that every rare coin has two stories, one written in history and one hidden in its metal. And that's true for the 1973 D. Washington Quarter. The coin's composition is a copper-nickel clad. Its diameter about 24.3 millimeters, its weight approximately 5.67 grams, and its thickness around 1.75 millimeters to an untrained eye. These might sound like just numbers, but for collectors, these are the fingerprints of authenticity. They tell us where the coin belongs in time, and sometimes they reveal when something went wrong at the mint: an incorrect die alignment, an off-center strike, a double die obverse. These are the details that turn curiosity into obsession. And it is within these details that the story of this quarter becomes truly remarkable. As the years passed, many 1973 D quarters were spent, worn down, or tossed aside. Yet a few survived in pristine condition, resting silently in collections or tucked away unknowingly by someone who simply liked the look of the coin. These are the quarters that make collectors' hearts race when discovered. Graded examples certified by professional services like PCGS and NGC have been known to reach astonishing valuations, especially when they carry high grades such as MS67 or MS68. The reason is simple. Condition is everything in numismatics. A tiny scratch can mean the difference between a collector's dream and an ordinary coin. Imagine holding one of these coins. The edges crisp, the luster bright, the fine details of Washington's hair sharp under the light. You begin to understand why condition dictates value. PCGS and NGC grading experts spend hours under magnification, examining each contour, each mark, ensuring accuracy. A coin in mint state condition is like a time capsule, untouched, unaged, a perfect memory of the day it left the press. And for the 1973 D. Washington Quarter, those perfect survivors are the true treasures. There's something fascinating about how this coin connects to both history and human emotion. It's not just metal. It's a piece of American identity, representing decades of commerce, culture, and craftsmanship. Minted in Denver, it bears that proud D mark. But it's what lies beneath the surface that truly captures the imagination. Some quarters from this year show faint doubling on the motto, "In God We Trust," or on Washington's eye. Tiny anomalies invisible to most, yet for collectors these are signs of uniqueness, the kind of imperfections that turn ordinary change into priceless heritage. Over the years, experts have uncovered several varieties of the 1973 D quarter, and while not all are rare, certain examples possess die errors that amplify their significance. Some have a slightly thicker rim. Others show a faint rotation between obverse and reverse dies. These subtle distinctions remind us how even the smallest mechanical variances can create legends in the world of coins. And in that world, discovery is everything. Every time someone finds one of these rarities, they're not just finding a coin, they're finding a story. Numismatics is built on passion and patience. It's the art of observation, the joy of uncovering history piece by piece. And the 1973 D quarter offers one of those captivating journeys. To truly appreciate its worth, collectors look not only at its condition, but also its strike quality, luster, and eye appeal. These elements come together like notes in a melody, defining the symphony of rarity. When you see one graded high by PCGS or NGC, you're not just seeing a number, you're seeing a legacy sealed in plastic, protected for generations to admire. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin so special in the market. The value of this coin has reached astonishing heights, with top-graded examples selling for nearly $9 million, a figure that seems unbelievable until you understand what makes such valuations possible. Rarity, condition, and collector demand are the holy trinity of coin value, and this quarter has them all. Not every 1973 D quarter is worth a fortune, but the right one, with the right combination of minting error, grade, and provenance, becomes a masterpiece. The fascinating thing is that even now, such coins can still appear unexpectedly, tucked in circulation, sitting in an old box, or forgotten inside a drawer. Imagine the thrill of finding one, the rush of realizing that you've just uncovered a piece of numismatic history worth millions. This is what makes coin collecting so captivating. It's not just about money. It's about discovery. Every collector dreams of that one find, the one coin that changes everything. If you're holding a 1973 D quarter right now, there are ways to determine if it could be one of the rare varieties. First, examine its details under a magnifying glass or a digital microscope. Look for any doubling, off-centering, or unusual thickness in the rim. Check its weight. It should be around 567 grams. If it deviates, that could indicate a minting anomaly. And of course, if it looks uncirculated, that's a good sign. Handle it carefully by the edges. To preserve its condition, when you believe you've found something unique, your next step should always be verification. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will authenticate, grade, and encapsulate it, preserving its condition while confirming its legitimacy. This not only protects your investment, but also greatly increases the coin's market value. Collectors and buyers trust certified coins, and in auctions, graded coins consistently fetch higher prices. Selling such a rare piece requires care and knowledge. The best places to sell are established auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or even specialized online platforms for certified coins. You can also connect with reputable coin dealers who are members of recognized numismatic associations. Avoid quick cash offers or unverified buyers. A coin of this magnitude deserves the right audience and the right stage to reveal its true worth. Now think about the story this coin carries. A small metallic disc struck more than 50 years ago, holding within it the power to spark excitement, debate, and dreams. This is what makes numismatics timeless. It connects generations, and coins like the 1973 D quarter remind us that value isn't just in what we see. It's in what we learn, the patience to study, the passion to collect, and the thrill of discovery. That's what keeps collectors searching. Each mark, each edge, each reflection under the light tells a story of craftsmanship. The hands that designed it, the machines that minted it, the pockets that carried it, and the collectors who protect it. If this coin could speak, it would tell tales of American life, of change, of endurance, and of quiet beauty. For something so small, it carries an enormous history. As you listen to this story, take a moment to think about your own coins, that jar on your desk, that handful of change in your car, or those coins passed down from family. You never truly know what treasures might be waiting within them. So maybe, tonight, when you're holding your coins under a soft light, Take a closer look. Maybe one of them carries the D mark. Maybe one of them carries the secrets of a minting era long gone. Maybe one of them is your own 1973 D Washington quarter waiting to be found, so before you go, remember this channel, World Rare Coin, is not just about value, it's about stories, discoveries, and the love for coins that connect us across time. If this story fascinated you, hit that like button, share this video with other collectors, and subscribe. Because every week we uncover more mysteries, more history, and more treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep searching. Because the next coin that changes everything might just be the one you already own.